Alright, the first technique I'm going to go over in great more detail this time is the V2 alternate. This is the technique that you will use most often, most people will use. You see a lot of people online in YouTube videos using this technique. Basically what it is basically, it's going to involve a combination of your stride and pushing with both of the poles. But the trick is that you're only going to push with the poles on one stride. You're not going to push it on each stride. It's a kind of a chance for you to rest while you're striding, because the double push takes up a lot of power from your upper body. The V2 by itself takes up a lot of power from both because you use them both each stride, but the V2 alternate only causes you to push your upper body with one stride. One thing to keep in mind when you're using this technique, a lot of people always get this wrong, is when you're using the V2 alternate, is that a lot of people like to push once and then wobble the other direction. Push and then wobble. Wrong thing to do. You want to make it as efficient as possible. You want to push, and then when you're recovering, still push again like you were doing if you weren't using the poles at all. So imagine when you're doing this technique, you're not using the poles at all. The poles are just here to give you the extra power you need for every other push. So to show you the rhythm of them real quick, how this works, and so kind of hard to go from a dead stop to a start doing this, is push, 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 push. Now as you notice, for every push, and you can do it on your left or your right, it does not matter, wherever one you're comfortable with. It's very good to get used to do it on either or side because it makes the V2 technique that I'll show you next a lot easier to do. Now as you notice, you have to have some good balance when you're doing this because on your recovery, and the pulling technique, you notice, I still released. Per push, I release. That's important. Don't rip the pole. Be comfortable. Be relaxed. Be relaxed in your pushing. Don't get all uptight and do things like that. I see a lot of videos of people starting off and they're just off balance, uptight, stiff, and really, they look like they're about to make themselves fall versus doing it. The legs are straight. They're just not relaxed. If you keep your knees bent, say again, weight down towards the back wheels, like I told you in the first video, you will be just fine. Relax. And the other way. And that is the V2 alternate.